The American people opposed the going to war with Syria, which includes many Marines and other veterans by the thousands, was 499-1. That is 99% of the people of this country. So if you and the rest of this government are truly for the American people and representatives of us, I suggest this time you listen, because nobody wants another war or strike in Syria or anywhere else. Bring our brothers and sisters home. I am truly disgusted that you people are my leaders.
Bringing you the hottest interviews and covering the stories the mainstream media doesn't dare to touch. It's the Rage Against the Regime podcast. Call or text your opinions to 256-344-7287. That's 256-344-7287.
Bitch ass nigga! What's up, nigga? World star. What's up, nigga? Fuck you!
Everybody, and welcome to another edition of Rage Against the Regime. I'm your host, Bobby, who's the man. And today we're going to cover a lot of topics, stuff that I've been backing away from because I wanted a little bit more information. But now it seems like we're going to be able to talk about a lot of things that I wasn't actually able to talk about. It seems that the towns in Texas and Arizona and California and, pretty much all the border towns, it seems like the people are ready to fight. And I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that this isn't something that they're going to sit back on their asses and sit and wait to find out what the government's going to do, what the military's going to do, what anybody's going to do for them, but what they're going to do for themselves. Blaine Cooper and Buddha, and I'm not really sure who else is with that group, but there's a lot of guys down in the border towns right now, and they're down there helping out a lot of ranchers and helping a lot of people protect their property and stuff from the invasion that's going on right now from the illegals. Now, I've talked many times about this, and I never will change my story. I'm going to tell you the same story every time. Well, not in the same way, but I'm going to tell you, I don't have a problem with the illegals coming here if they do it legally. Okay? Now, I know the DREAM Act and, whatever, and you know what? Why not? Okay, some of you are probably not going to like what I have to say right now, but why not? The DREAM Act is for people that want to go to school and want to have a career and want to better themselves. Now, I think that there should be something that goes along with that. I think that if they're going to come here and they're going to do the DREAM Act, that they should not be able to get any kind of welfare, any kind of benefits, any kind of money, no free handouts whatsoever. Your free handout is when you came here to our country and when you came to the United States. Now, you wanted to get a better education? here you go. We allowed you to come into our country, okay? So right there should be all that you need. Go out, get a job. The first time that you ask for any type of benefits, you should be shown the door and showed your country and tell you to go back home, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand times are hard and stuff like that. People that have kids, you know, as long as you're going to school, working and stuff like that, maybe give them a little bit of help. But not for people that just come walking in the door, you know, crossing our borders illegally. I do not want to give them any kind of help whatsoever. Okay? And I don't give a damn what country you're from. Okay? Mexico, France, Canada, whatever. I don't care where you're from. Okay? Now, I have a problem with the people coming over here illegally and knowing that they're illegal, carrying drugs, whatever the case may be, being mules or whatever, and coming on over here, and, you know, there's really not a whole lot being done about it. But we have a soldier that's in jail over there, and a Mexican judge won't even let him go. Only because he made a wrong turn somewhere and couldn't get out of it, and figured he was going to go to the border, they were going to turn him around and send him back. I mean, he's a soldier, okay? He's a soldier. Now, I can't tell you how many videos are out right now. See, this is the stuff that I've been waiting for. I can't tell you how many videos are out right now of these clowns flying around in all these helicopters and everything and flying over the border. Okay? They're crossing the border, coming into our country, and nobody's doing a damn thing about it. Now, you let them do it once, shame on us. You let them do it twice, it should be shame on them. But no, nobody's doing anything about it. They're allowing them to fly over here, cross over the border, come on into our country, and not do crap about it. I almost swore, and I don't want to. I'm trying to steer away from that. Okay? And nobody's doing crap about it. Just like they're driving over here, coming into our country, and they're able to turn around and go back. They're not being detained. Okay? Nobody is detaining any of these people. So then, if nobody is detaining any of these people, then why do we have a soldier in prison in Mexico? Seriously, why did we have a soldier in jail in Mexico? Why aren't we locking them up? Okay, because there'd be a lot more of them in jail than there will be of ours. One of ours makes a wrong turn. And you know what pisses me off the most? Obama's not doing anything about it. All he has to do is pick up that phone and say, you let him out of jail. Okay? If not, the wrath of Khan is going to be imposed upon you. But no, he doesn't want to do that. He'd rather get involved in everybody else's business around the world. Okay? And put us in everybody's business. And say, oh, we got your back, Israel. You know, against the Hamas. And then, you know, we got your back, whoever against whoever. You know, putting us all over the place. Yeah, we got your back, Ukraine against Russia. Why do we got to be the big bad bullies of the yard against everybody else in the world? How come we're not standing on our own borders, protecting our people at home? Why do we have to go around the country and go and protect all these other people? Okay, do you think that they're going to come and help us and protect us? Well, not like we need protection, but do you think that they're going to come help us? Absolutely not. Right now, we're the big bad bullies of the schoolyard, and all the other kids don't want nothing to do with us. We have a couple, okay, Canada, Great Britain, whatever, and they're on the same wavelength that we are. Okay? Bilderberg. Who do you think is Bilderberg? All the big-time people from the banks and, the prime ministers from all these countries and the secretaries of defense, and that's all the Bilderberg people. So, with that being said, I don't understand what is the holdup of getting our soldier out of the Mexican jail. Now, I understand it's a due process. Right now, it's I think it's 120 days as of today. Don't quote me on the number because I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's almost 120 days today. 120 days. That's 4 months. What crime did he commit? Okay, he had weapons when he went over the border. Okay, it's not legal in Mexico. He is a soldier. He's supposed to have a weapon on him. Now, do you think all those goofs coming over our borders don't have weapons when they come here? If you don't, you're badly mistaken. So, when do we start putting pressure on them for what they're doing to us? It's got to happen, people. It has to happen. If we do nothing about it, they're gonna keep doing it. Okay? Now, Obama wants $3 billion. That's right, billion, not million. $3 billion to stop the kids from coming over the border and this and that. What a crock of crap. $3 billion? You're the one that opened up the gates of hell. And now you want to ask Congress for $3 billion to close the gate, knowing you don't need a dime to close that gate and to get those people back out there and to get the border patrol back where they belong, instead of going to all these places and taking care of all these kids that are bringing diseases into our country and getting our kids sick and our people sick. How about taking care of the people at home? I went into a big rant about all the veterans. Okay, I have a problem with that. To sit here and think about all these veterans that don't have a place to sleep. Okay? You go on any corner in Chicago where I live, and, especially off the highways, and you see all these homeless people, all of them are veterans. And if they're not, well, their signs say that there are. And, a lot of them are wearing jackets and, military clothing and stuff like that. So, they're standing out here, they're panhandling, they're hungry, they don't have a place to sleep, they sleep under bridges and everything else. That's okay for you to allow them to do that. In your mind, you would rather let sick or whatever, I'm not even going to say sick because I don't even know how many of them are sick, but you would rather have kids come over here and women from Mexico, and probably even the fathers and the uncles and grandfathers come over here, and you would rather take care of them and open up, the gates of hell and allow them to come in here instead of taking care of the Vietnam veterans that are here right now with nothing. These are the people that have already served their country. Okay? And then, when the vets go to the VA to go get medical care and stuff like that, they're treated like they were people that were incarcerated. Okay? Right now, they're putting bulletins out that the veterans are enemy number one. Public enemy number one. The veterans. People that served our country. Now, if you think that's bad, they're pink slipping them and telling them, we don't need you guys. Go on home. We don't need you guys. You know what? This country is not going to be protected. Okay? Tons of false flags all over the place. Chicago right now, as we talked about, is the #1 police state. It's the first police state in America. Chicago. Not the state of Illinois so much, but Chicago is the first police state city. If that makes any sense. The first one. But these vets, they're getting pink slips. They're being sent home or whatever. Who is going to be protecting us? Okay? We're sending all these troops all over the world. Go here, go there. Go help these guys. Go help those guys. Do this, do that, whatever. What about here? What about here and now? Okay? You can read about it anywhere. Drudge was talking about it. They're being pink slipped. They're being sent home. Okay? Now, is it that the government doesn't want to pay so much into the military? Or is it getting to a point to where you guys really see the big picture on this and it's coming? The NWO, the New World Order and all that, and the police state and all that stuff, it's all truly coming. Now, I don't really like to say the New World Order and all that because really, if you think about it, there's nothing new about it. It's been going on forever. Okay? It's been going on before Nixon. Okay? Nobody really ever talked about it until George Bush Sr. came on TV, and when he gave his presidential speech, he talked about the New World Order. Okay? Well, he let the cat out of the bag. But I'm sure it's been going on way before that. So, it just doesn't make any sense to me how you could sit here and treat these veterans that did all this and protected us and let us, have a good night's sleep and everything. You treat them like crap when they come home. You make them public enemy #1. You don't allow them a place to sleep and put their head down. You don't have any kind of program set up for them medically. You do through the VA, but then when they go in, they get a hard time. They don't have anything set up for any kind of meal programs or anything like that. And then you talk about how many of them are committing suicide. Probably because their wives left them, because they were away and, the wives became needy and needed the affection and stuff like that. Or maybe their family had passed away while they were gone. I mean, there could be a number of things. But these guys are committing suicide at record numbers. It's scary. It's very scary. I would like to try to get something set up for them. I don't mean me personally, because I would have, I wouldn't be able to do no better than anybody else. But I wish that there was some kind of government program that could be done. That we could step up and people could, could help out a little bit. Now, let's steer away from that a little bit. I'm just going to lose my cool on it because, it really, really bugs me. For somebody that does so much for us, in the military, I thank you, all of you that have served. I wish that there was something more that, this country would do for you, but it seems like it seems like this country's given up hope. It seems like they're more worried about, nobody should have guns here and nobody should be able to protect themselves and, this and that, and let's bring in the UN and, let's confiscate everybody's guns and let's make everybody feel like a prisoner in their own home. Because that's what it's starting to feel like in Chicago. Now, we talked about that the other day. It's here. Now, I don't want to start telling you guys stuff that's been happening to me because I don't want to really bring attention to it, because there's been stuff going on that is unusual, and I don't know, maybe I brought attention to myself, and and maybe it's starting to get back, and maybe maybe it's starting to hit a little bit too close to home. But you know what? I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop. But I will tell you how it is here in Chicago right now. There's been a lot more police presence. I have been noticing a lot more MRAPs here in Chicago and in the suburbs surrounding Chicago. Even fire departments with Humvees. Eeks. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of these vehicles are probably needed, for drug busts and raids and stuff like that, but for a fire department to have a Humvee and an MRAP, it's pretty scary. And, a lot of the festivals and stuff, I've been noticing guys looking more military here. The police departments are starting to look a lot more military. Chicago, for a lot of you that don't know, in the nicer neighborhoods, the cops are a lot more laid back, and they don't really pull you over for the petty stuff and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of Chicago cops aren't really too bad. I know quite a few of them. I actually know people involved in a lot of different careers and stuff like that, but I even know people on both sides of the law. But a lot of the cops in the better neighborhoods are decent people. I guess the cops that are in the other neighborhoods and in, the neighborhoods where the gangs and the drugs and, more violence and the shootings and stuff, I guess they would have to be a little bit more hard ass and stuff like that. But, I actually think that the government is putting National Guard and stuff on patrol with the police departments, because some of these guys don't look like cops. A lot of them are starting to look more like military guys. Now, you're going to say, well, how would you know the difference? The way that they're dressed. Now, I'm going to start paying a lot more attention to that and reporting to you guys about it. And trying to look at their uniforms a little bit more, because some of these guys that are undercover, or at least they look like they're undercover, some of them wear like black uniform, type stuff. And I don't know if that's, for special events and stuff, because that's usually when I see guys dressed like that, is at like special events and, like music, type things, like musicians and stuff. And I don't know, I'll let you know, and, I'll try to keep it in mind and try to remember it and let you guys know about it. So let's move on a little bit more and talk a little bit more about the border situations. A lot of the militia that are down at the borders right now and trying to stop the illegals from coming in are in need of supplies and clothes and water and food. And I would like to take a moment and ask any of you that don't know Blaine Cooper to get recognized with Blaine Cooper. Blaine Cooper is the man, I talk about him a lot. He's the man that stood up to John McCain at one of John McCain's speeches, and he did a speech himself saying that he thought that John McCain should be charged with treason. Now, that took a lot of guts and a lot of balls because, he was by himself pretty much in a room of McCain supporters and pretty much laid it right out and said how he felt and said, hey, I think you should be charged with treason. Anybody that doesn't know, look up his video on YouTube and just look up Blaine Cooper Blaine Cooper versus John McCain, and you'll see. Now, Blaine has a YouTube page. He also has a Facebook page. And on his Facebook page, everybody posts about a lot of, different events going on, like things that are going on against the country and to the country and stuff like that. And, he kind of leaves it to where people can post. And, he has a GoFundMe set up. And you know what? He's not asking for a lot. And I usually don't try to push for stuff like that. Because, to me, it's hard enough. People really don't have money for stuff right now, and it's hard enough. But I think it's for a good cause. These guys are down on the border, and they're trying to fight these people off. And I don't know if fight is the right word, but hold them off or scare them away or whatever the case may be. But really get you guys to step forward and maybe go to Blaine's page. And if you could donate maybe $5, something like that, that would be great. It's BlaineCooper, Blaine Cooper. Now, let's get into something that I've been holding back on, and I did a little bit of investigating over the weekend. I wanted to let it out on the weekend, but I didn't really have a chance to because I had a whole lot going on. I had watched some videos and read a lot of reports from scientists that are at Yellowstone. Now, I don't know where they get off saying that they don't think that there's going to be anything major going on. It seems like every sign is pointing in the direction that there is going to be something very major going on with Yellowstone. Now, the report that I read from the scientist, I forgot what his name was, but he's a scientist at Yellowstone. He said that he doesn't think that it's going to be as major as everybody thinks that it is, and he doesn't think it's going to be a huge catastrophe, and and said, the lava's not going to be going all over the place, and it's really only going to be within like a 400 and 500 mile radius, and this and that. Now, this was actually before they figured out that Yellowstone in the caldera is actually bigger than what they thought it was. Now, I would actually like to find out what the scientist has to say now. So, this is what I want to report to all of you. I am going to try to call Yellowstone National Park on this broadcast. When I'm done with this broadcast, I'm going to call Yellowstone National Park. I will let them know that I'm recording the call. I want to ask for the scientist that's there, and I want to actually pretty much read his report that he let out and find out if he's changing his tune. I want to find out what they're really saying. I want to call them, and I want to have them on the show, and I would like to interview them. So, that's what I'm going to report right now. I am going to interview the scientist, if they allow me to anyway. I'm going to interview the scientist from Yellowstone National Park. So that's what we're about to do right now. So hang on to your hats and your pocketbooks, because it's going to get pretty wild, because I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to ask a lot of questions that they probably don't want me to ask. But that's what I'm about to do. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
This is the Rage Against the Regime podcast. Call or text your opinions to 256-344-7287. That's 256-344-7287. You're listening to the Rage Against the Regime podcast. Don't be a stranger. Like Rage Against the Regime podcast on Facebook or tweet us at RATR Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to Rage Against the Regime. Well, I just got off the phone with Yellowstone, and the news that they're giving me is that the park was closed for 3 days. And it was a 3-mile stretch that was closed, and they are saying that the reason why it was closed is due to the circumstances that something is making the ground, I think he used the word melt. I'm not quite sure that was the exact word that he used, was the word melt, but they are admitting that the park was closed. They didn't allow me to record the conversation. I told the gentleman who I was and where I was calling him from, and he did not allow me to record the conversation. And he did say that he knew who I was, that he had seen a video and my podcast. So I'm guessing that I can thank Tom from Bunker Report for that. So, what do you think about that? You know, he also told me that he didn't feel that there was any, any reason to be worried and that the park was completely safe. I played it off a little bit like, I had heard some things that, I was worried about, but, I was just pretty much right out in the open with them, and I explained to him that, I wanted to know what was going on, and I told him exactly who I was and where I was calling from, and he didn't seem to be surprised in the least bit, but, he seemed like, he seemed like, oh, there's nothing to worry about, come on through. But I wasn't surprised that they wouldn't allow me to record the conversation. I was going to do it kind of sneaky-like, but I would not have been able to release it, so what would be the use of me recording it? Because I could have got in a lot of trouble, maybe even sued if I would have, recorded a call, even though I said to him, I'm recording a call, can I record it and play it? And he said, absolutely not. So, with all that being said, and the way that the temperature is changing right now everywhere, what do you guys think of that? Because right now, here in Chicago, it's actually a pretty cold day compared to, what we usually get. And the weather throughout the whole Midwest and everywhere is changing. So, I don't know if that has anything to do with Yellowstone. I'm not really sure, what it really has to do with. I mean, I did look on Bunker Report and saw the report that Tom had on there. I would like to tell you guys about a few other people. Well, actually, one other person that posts really the same stuff if not more, than Tom does about Yellowstone, and that's Ms. Truth, MZTRUTH. She does a pretty good job on reporting, anything big that's coming out, and it's mostly about earthquakes and volcanoes, and and mostly pinpoints Yellowstone. So I figured I wanted to share that information with you guys, to let you know what was being said from the people at Yellowstone. They're saying that the park's open right now. They're saying that they don't feel that there's anything to be worried about. They feel that the park is safe. They said that it was a 3-mile stretch that they had closed because of the ground and that the road was messed up. And, another thing that I found to be funny about the call, and not really funny, but he told me, he wished me well and told me to be careful and be safe. I'm the type of person, you don't really have a conversation like that with somebody that you really don't know too well. It was kind of like he was like, I'm not trying to say that he was trying to tell me anything about Yellowstone, but about me in general. It was just a weird feeling. The whole conversation just felt really weird when I called. Well, let's get off of Yellowstone for a little while, and I would like to touch on some big things going on here in Chicago. The other day, you can look it up on YouTube. The other day, with the whole police state going on and everything here, there was a big concert that they had going on here they call it Montrose Beach. And the beach pretty much got tore up. And it was pretty much gang fights the whole time. And they were throwing bricks and bottles at the police. They chased the police completely off. They chased the police right out of there. I mean, the police were gone. So they chased them off. You just see fights everywhere. You can go on YouTube and look up Montrose Beach, Montrose Beach. Now, ever since that day, there's been a lot of news here in Chicago that's been talking about Montrose, about the thing that happened that day, and talking about the police beefing up, and showing more of a presence and stuff like that. But I noticed that we're not the only ones. Chicago is not the only police state any longer. Little towns all across America, Department of Homeland Security has been sending out police, being the government police, sending them out all over the place and saying that the reason why they're sending them there is to show that there's a police presence. Do you guys actually see it now? The naysayers? Do you see what's going on? And look up on the videos. Somewhere the other day, there was a train that had, I don't even know how many military vehicles on it that they didn't have any emblems on them or anything else. They were like the brown and the beige color, and they were ready for paint. So it's coming, people. Police state is here now in Chicago, but it's coming. Now, I don't know if any of you know about Chicago having a very, very high Muslim neighborhood. I guess that's the word that I want to use, is a neighborhood. And they have a community center. It's actually not far from my house. I could actually walk there from my house. They have a community center there that they say had a rally the other day that was even out in the middle of the street, and it was pretty much a rally that it was an anti-Christian rally. Now, I've seen reports where they said kill Christians and this and that. I'm not going to report that to you because I don't know if they did or didn't, and I'm not going to be somebody that's stirring up the pot. But I will tell you that there is a high Muslim community here, and the community center on any given day that you go over there to the place, there's hundreds and hundreds of Muslims hanging out, and they're outside, they're inside, whatever. There's a million cabs parked up and down the block, and don't nobody send me no racist stuff saying that I'm racist because I said that Muslims drive cabs or whatever. I'm just saying that there's a ton of cabs out there all the time. Okay? Now, a lot of people talk about New York. And, like there's this big secret message or something that New York is going to be the place that, they're going to strike again and this and that. With everything that's going on in Chicago right now, and, with us being the police state and, and all that type of stuff, I have a feeling that the next false flag is going to be in Chicago. Now, I'm not trying to say that I know anything about anything, or I'm trying to warn anybody about anything or whatever. No, that is not the case whatsoever. I have no clue. But I'm telling you, I have a feeling that something is going to happen here in Chicago. Why not here? I mean, this is like the middle of the United States pretty much. And I mean, it's a big city. It has a high Muslim community, and like I said, the whole police state and everything. I mean, I just have a feeling that we're being geared up here for something, because a lot of the stuff that's been going on here, and I've been telling you guys about a lot of the military vehicles that I've never seen before. The cops look all militarized, and just all types of helicopters that I've never seen before, and I don't know. I'm telling you, I sense something big is going on here in Chicago. And I hope that I'm wrong, because, I really don't want anything to happen in my city, and I'm praying nothing happens. I'm praying nothing happens anywhere. I'd hate to see anybody get hurt. Women, kids, people in general. I would really hate to see any of that happen. But, it seems to me that it's going to happen somewhere, sometime. So, be prepared, everybody. Be prepared. Because you never know what's going to happen. Now, when I had Tom on, we were talking about, anything that could happen, meaning like a natural disaster or, just anything in general. Do you have the means right now? Do you have anything stockpiled? Like water, food, canned foods, foods that can last a long time? Why not? If you have a few extra bucks. I tell you guys this all the time, so you're probably sick of hearing it. But why not? If you have a few extra dollars, put it off to the side and go out, and when you see water on sale, buy some extra water. Buy some extra canned foods or vegetables or whatever that'll last a long time. Rices, pastas. Stuff that could stretch out. Tom just let out a video the other day talking about, him, he practices all the time for, anything that could happen, hostage situations. He has a bunker that he built that, he's going to be releasing some videos, and I would really like to point some of you guys that don't know about it to go over there to Tom's page. Tom, Lupshu, on YouTube or Bunker Report on Facebook and go over there and check out some of the videos where he's going to teach people how to build, yourself a bunker, or how to be, make yourself more prepared for anything that's coming up, and, and how to do certain things. He's going to be releasing some how-to videos. So I'd like to point you guys to go over there. I would like to thank Blaine Cooper, Buddha Bear, any of the other guys that are down on the border and, doing border patrol for the ranchers and stuff down there, trying to send the illegals back to wherever the hell they came from. I'd like to thank you guys for what you're doing. If anybody can put a few dollars together, and maybe you can send a few dollars over to Blaine Cooper. He's got a GoFundMe page. I've talked about that a few times. $5, $6, $2, whatever you got. Anything you can send would help out. These guys are sleeping out in the desert. They're out there. I don't even think that they have tents, to be honest with you. But they're out there sleeping in the desert at nighttime trying to catch illegals coming across. Because the government's not doing it. They're not doing it at all. I got so much. I've got like a page here. I mean, you guys have no clue. I have a page here of stuff that I want to talk about. But I would rather do my homework on a lot of it and make sure that I'm giving you truthful news and good news and stuff to report. Not just, throwing stuff out there and hoping that I'm right about it. I don't want to do that at all. I'd rather do things the way that I'm doing it right now. So that's really about the size of it. So I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Rage Against the Regime. Don't be scared to send me messages, comments, emails. Hit me up on Twitter, on Facebook. I'm going to be playing audio here in a second, how to contact us. So go ahead and hit us up on everything that you're about to hear or where you can contact us at. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for listening.
This is the Rage Against the Regime podcast. Like Rage Against the Regime podcast on Facebook or tweet us at RATR Podcast. If you'd like to send us an email, it's rageagainsttheregimepodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can call or text us at 256-344-RATR. That's 256-344-7287.